Hello, my name is Rose Riley, and I'm a member of the League of Women Voters of Washtenaw County. Welcome to our online candidate forum for the November 8th general election. The League is a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization that promotes voter education and participation, and we host candidate forums to help voters make informed choices. Now, let's hear from the candidates.
Good evening. My name is Catherine Murau, and I will moderate the forum tonight. It's my honor to introduce one of the two candidates running for Scio Township trustee, Democratic candidate Jillian Carey. The other candidate, Republican Gary Greiner, did not accept the invitation to participate in this forum. So thank you, Ms. Carey, for participating.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's our pleasure. And we're now ready for your opening statement.
I'm Jillian Carey. I am a Scio Township resident since 2011. And I have to be honest, I was not active in my township until about 2018, 2019. Very busy with my life, raising my three children. They're grown now and out of the nest. And as most people, we just want to live our lives and are busy, because we're busy. But anyway, it became apparent to me that I needed to get involved in my township. There was things that I noticed that were not, I guess, proper. And I have been involved ever since. It's been about 4 years. So now I am running for trustee.
Thank you. And now to the questions. The first question is about the environment. The Gelman dioxane spill occurred in Scio Township. Are there additional or different actions the Scio Township Board should take in response to this threat? And do you support the plume being designated a Superfund site?
Really good questions. So the plume was, or the dioxane was found in 1984 by Dan Bicknell. And over time, it has evolved, and here we are. That was 1984, so 30 some years later. And there's been a lot of obstacles in preventing the further spread, and also holding the company accountable. Until recently, when finally the municipalities that have been involved have agreed to move forward with the Superfund, petitioning for the Superfund. I'm making it sound very simple. It's not a simple process, but in order for the federal government to come in and evaluate, which could take 30 years by the time it's all cleaned up, if it moves forward to that, we needed to have all the municipalities on board. And this is a very positive thing that's in the past couple of years. My township, Scio Township, I don't know about the other municipalities, but Scio has started their own well testing above and beyond what Gelman or I'm not sure if other municipalities were involved in that. And we're finding that there's wells that were non-detect before are detect. I am very much for holding Gelman, which is now Danaher, accountable, but I'm also, if we have to do that either through court, but also at the simultaneously with the Superfund. So yes, I am in support of that. Anything to clean up our environment and prevent potential harm.
Thank you. And now to the next question, board effectiveness. When David Rowley resigned as township administrator, he left the Board of Trustees an extensive list of recommendations on issues, including goal setting and budgeting. Please comment on your agreements or disagreements with his key recommendations.
Yes, David Rowley was a blessing in disguise. I have to admit, I was against the administrator manager model because of a past, we had a manager that didn't do our township proper. Let's just put it at that. So when David Rowley was, I was on edge. Everybody was on edge. Like, how's this guy going to work out? And he was amazing. He had a 30-year experience with municipalities and whatnot. And he really came in right off the bat and started getting our township in order. I mean, not by himself, of course, with board. The board approved of what he was doing until towards the end. He did create that 11-page memo, and it was spot on. It was just giving us the basics of what we need to do to bring Scio Township up to a professional level. Unfortunately, a lot of that has been ignored. If I am on the board, I don't want to be presumptuous here. I'm 95%, I'm sure, but I would love to follow some of his memo, if not all of it. Now, of course, his memo was from last year. Things may have changed, but Scio needs to get the basic foundations set. Our infrastructure, our financial department, our staff, fire department. We need those basic structures in order to build upon to those other projects and plans that we the wants and not so much the needs. We need to get the needs in order. I guess that was probably the easiest way to say it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. And now the next question is about water and sewer. The township's audited financial statements note that the water and sewer services generated a net loss in 2021 of more than $1.2 million and show the existence of significant unbilled water or sewer accounts. Has the township adequately addressed these deficiencies, and are additional actions needed?
No, they haven't. I am a municipal water customer. And as you may know, Scio is maybe a third of our population is on municipal water. Now, don't quote me on that, but it's most people have wells. So I can tell you 1 board member out of 7 has municipal water. The rest of them do not. I have found through my own bills in this last year, it was pretty consistent with how the billing was, that as far as the bills being correct, but this year they have not been correct. Not to say I'm being overcharged or undercharged, but just the way it is. And this has to do with lack of staff and also some people retiring and the board ignoring that. And the one employee left that was doing billing, and then they waited to the last minute to hire somebody. I also know for a fact that another development, that it's a new development, and the residents that moved in were being charged based on what the developer was using. Some of it was 37,000 gallons in 3 months, which is a family of 4 with 2 toddlers does not use that much. The reason why, of course, we need to really get into the finances, but my observation is over time, the utility department was ignored. And then when issues were brought up, they still didn't pay attention to it. So over time, infrastructure needs to be cared for and maintained, just like a building. The same with the fire department. And if those things are not taken care of, it's going to come to a point where it's a total or almost breakdown, and we've got to catch up with taking care of that financially. So, which ends up in a way punishing, I don't want to say, like it's the residents' fault, but we end up taking care of those bills or, catching up.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, the next question is on bond downgrading. In August, Standard & Poor's lowered the township's bond rating from AA+ to AA. S&P stated, the rating action reflects our view that there is heightened risk of credit deterioration given operating challenges associated with governance structure concerns, including political discord, management turnover, risk management, culture, and oversight stemming from internal control findings, and a lapse in certain financial practices. Do you agree with S&P's conclusion that the township's financial management is weakening?
I do agree with that. And the reason why is David Rowley, before he had left, he had warned the township of these issues that could potentially happen. Now, we were only downgraded by a little bit, but it's a warning, that it's telling us, hey, you need to get your act together. You need to start working together. You need to start putting the priorities that are our basic infrastructure, our finance department, our staff, those things that support, again, the township. This has been an ongoing issue. The board approved of a finance director to hire a finance director a year ago, and they still have not acted upon that. There's interim employees. They keep filling these positions with interim. The bonding S&P Global, that is one of the things that will lower the rating. There's there's a whole list. But the thing is that the S&P rating going down just by a degree, let's say, I don't know how to, what the technical term is giving us enough of, I guess a warning to do something to better our community, to better our bond rating, to better our credit rating.
Okay, thank you. And now for the final question, and the topic is board civility. The Township Board has difficulty reaching consensus, as illustrated by the recent disagreements regarding filling a board vacancy. If elected, what specific steps would you take to improve board effectiveness?
That is a great question, and I struggle with that. There are different personalities on the board, and what I see has been forgotten is that they were elected to represent residents and to make their decisions based on the best interest of residents in our community. Some of these board members have forgotten that, and it's not about residents in our community. It's about what they want, and they're going to get it no matter what. And it isn't working. I read an article, it was recently, a couple months ago, I guess, maybe not that recent, but in there was, I think it was a supervisor that was under attack. And I wrote down his quote. He says, "I am not here for the politics. I am here for residents." And this is what I want to bring to the board, is to remind them that this is what we're here for. We're a community. We're living together. We're neighbors. Those people on the board are in our neighborhoods, and they're going to be in our neighborhoods unless they get out after they are out of office. So this is what we need to bring back. And our township is growing. I can think of 3 developments right now that are huge that are coming in. We can't handle what we have now. We don't have the fire. We don't have the water infrastructure, and our billing, our finance department is lacking in many ways. There's a lot of issues, and not only that, we just had our audit, or I'm not sure if they're finished with it, but they even pointed out the red flags. This is what you need to do to get this straightened up. And then we had some some residents pointed out that these complaints have gone back for years. So we really need to take this seriously and bring Scio Township up to a professional run government, local government.
Thank you very much for your thoughtful answers to these questions, Ms. Carey. And now it's time for your closing statement.
My closing statement. Haven't I said it all? This is the one thing, when I got involved, I was dragged to a township meeting by some friends, and I didn't want to go. I was super tired, but I went anyway. And there was something inside of me that said, wow, we really need to get this straightened out. It had to do with our trash contract. And then from there, my life unfolded to now I'm consumed with Scio. And yeah, there's days that I just want to walk away, but I know I can't, because this is my community. Yeah, these are my neighbors.
Thank you very much for participating in this valuable session.
Yeah, thank you.
The League thanks the candidates and volunteers who participated in tonight's forum and community members who submitted questions. Please urge others to view our forums. Most importantly, please vote in the November 8th general elections, either by absentee ballot or in person.